Hi everyone! So recently Kawasaki Industries introduced CORLEO, a groundbreaking hydrogen-powered robot that functions as a rideable vehicle designed for human riders. It was unveiled at the Osaka-Kansai Expo, and honestly, this is absolutely incredible. If you ever needed a sign that we are living in the future, just take a look at that majestic leap you're seeing right here. This is the kind of future we've all imagined, and it's happening now. This is a new class of robot, one that's not quite like the typical AI-powered humanoid robots I usually feature on this channel. But the technology behind CORLEO is so amazing, so perplexing, so futuristic, that I had to share it with you today. Now, I do apologize for the video quality. It's tough to find high-definition footage of this amazing machine. But even with that, I still wanted to showcase CORLEO because it truly represents a bold step in robotic design. This is more than just a mechanical horse. It looks like an innovative piece of rideable hardware, something that would probably be a dream to experience, especially for horse lovers or tech enthusiasts. Essentially, this thing is pretty wild. It's powered by a 150cc, 20 horsepower hydrogen engine that generates electricity to drive each of its 4 legs. And yes, that's right. It has 4 legs instead of wheels. Now, what makes this robot unique is the fact that it was heavily inspired by horses. You can clearly see it in how the robot moves, walks, and balances. And we've definitely seen robot dogs before, like Boston Dynamics' Spot and Unitree's Quadrupeds, and how well they perform. But this robot is clearly a step beyond. It's building on a foundation of quadrupedal research, but pushing it even further. This robot seems to be a major leap forward. It innovates on a very well-known platform, one that has been extensively studied. There are tons of research papers exploring the limits of humanoid robots and robot dogs, and now we're seeing the next evolutionary phase. According to reports, CORLEO has a range of 150 miles, and one of the standout features I found while researching this is its unique leg and hoof design. They've apparently developed something called terrain-sensing hooves. Each leg has rubber split hooves, allowing the robot to walk with balance and stability across all kinds of surfaces. Its movement has been described as more dynamic and lifelike than traditional vehicles. Some observers even say it moves with the agility of a panther or a dog, and that's not something you hear every day when talking about robots. And apparently, this robot is also equipped with flexible suspension, which allows it to move over rough terrain, including mountains and snow-covered areas. The hooves are said to be non-slip, which makes sense if they're taking inspiration from nature. Just think about how mountain goats seem to defy gravity, standing on tiny ledges without ever falling. I'm guessing Kawasaki is trying to replicate that natural stability using innovative materials and grip technology. These aren't just decorative hooves, they're functional. There are sensors inside them that adjust the amount of grip and pressure depending on the terrain. Whether it's gravel, snow, wet grass, or rocky paths, the hooves flex and grip in real time to keep the robot stable and smooth as it moves. This may be the first time we're seeing a 4-legged rideable robot that integrates terrain adaptive feedback so fluidly. Instead of wheels or flat robotic feet, these hooves mimic the natural movement of animals, allowing it to maintain control in challenging environments. Now let's talk about the design. Visually, CORLEO looks like a mix between a robotic dog and maybe even a jet ski, if we're looking purely at the front-end styling. I think the design is sleek, futuristic, and functional. But one question comes to mind. How safe is it? There are videos of it running and leaping, and while that kind of motion is great on a horse, I do wonder if this robot has been safety tested for actual riders. That's an important factor when dealing with new transport technology. And now, here comes the big reveal. Even though the robot was unveiled at a convention, and there are videos of it leaping and running around, a lot of that footage is actually computer-generated imagery, or CGI. That's right. As impressive as it looks, Those jaw-dropping scenes of the robot hopping like a gazelle, not real, yet. Still, this footage absolutely exploded across social media. I couldn't scroll through any platform without seeing CORLEO everywhere. And while yes, it's CGI, the fact that so many people believed it was real shows how believable and immersive this concept is. It also shows that there's a real appetite for this kind of futuristic transportation. From the first-person POVs to the aerial shots, the design captures the imagination. And I genuinely think that in a few years, robots like CORLEO could become something we actually see in everyday life, especially as robotics evolves and terrain becomes less of a limit. So now you might be wondering, what exactly powers this robot? Well, as I mentioned earlier, it's not electric or gas powered. It uses hydrogen power. More specifically, it features a 150cc hydrogen motor that produces electricity, which then powers the robot's 4 legs. That allows CORLEO to move and operate just like a horse, across all kinds of terrain. At its core, this robot relies on a hydrogen fuel cell, which converts the chemical energy of hydrogen into electrical energy to drive the motors. Based on the limited info available, the robot is said to have a runtime of about 150 minutes. Though take that with a grain of salt. Specs could change. The choice to use hydrogen is fascinating. Most robots we've seen recently, like Atlas for instance, rely on electric or hydraulic systems. So Kawasaki using hydrogen sets this apart. It's a bold move, but potentially a smart one for longer-term, off-grid operation. Now, of course, the big question is, will this robot ever go into full-scale production? And to be honest, I don't know. Right now, CORLEO seems to be more of a concept than a ready-to-ship product. It was likely developed to test possibilities, gather feedback, and showcase innovation. And honestly, that's okay, because many revolutionary products start out as concepts, and it's only after enough public interest that companies take the leap. And from everything I've seen in robotics lately, I truly believe a rideable robot like CORLEO could absolutely become real. If you've been following the world of robotics, you already know how fast things are moving. Robots today can already walk, run, sense, and adapt to their environment. It's only a matter of time before they can also carry riders across challenging terrains. So yes, what we're seeing right now is computer-generated imagery, and this robot isn't ready for mass market use just yet. But I wouldn't write it off entirely, because the vision behind CORLEO is real, and the tech to make it happen is rapidly catching up. Do you think it's just a cool-looking robot, or do you think it's the beginning of a new kind of personal transport? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. Personally, I think it's amazing. Sometimes innovation doesn't need to be purely practical, it just needs to inspire. And CORLEO? It's one of those creations that captures the imagination. Japan has been building robots for a long time, and this one definitely gets my seal of approval. Thanks for watching.